Performance, a fun to drive vehicle, something that is an everyday blend. The four-door is back, and Mercedes of Clearwater has given us the 2022 Mercedes AMG GT43 in your polar white. New for 2023 will be a special edition for the AMG because it's 55 years of making, so they're going to have an edition 55, and it's only on the GT43. New for 2022 gets more interior trims and upholstery combinations with carbon fiber inlays, Nappa leather, more cargo than the rivals. On the outside, more colors. Retuned suspension for a better and more comfortable drive and a more dynamic drive. The everyday sports car goes after your BMW 840i, your Audi S7, your Cadillac CT5 V Black Wing. But which one is going to capture all of the luxury, all of the performance, something that's fun and in everyday use? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The new Mercedes AMG GT43 has the styling and proportions of a sports car, and it's a hatchback, so it's more practical for a daily and everyday fun vehicle, all blended in. Adding the AMG 9 package, which will include a gloss black for your front splitter, your mirror caps, your fender trim, your window treatment. Black chrome will be on the tailpipe trims. The extended night package adds the black lettering, the dark signature vertical AMG grille, which boosts that 3-point star, and it just makes it look a lot more powerful with the long twin powered dome hood, which is a signature to the AMG line. This one is the widest. When we're comparing it to the rivals, it also sits up a little bit more higher. The ground clearance is going to be the least. 20-inch AMG multi-spoke wheels with the black. Behind those gray calipers are AMG high-performance composite brakes with AMG Dynamic Select, AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus with AMG Ride Control Sports Suspension. This is going to be the longest out of all of the competition at 199.2 inches, a wheelbase 116.2 inches. I do like that the panel moonroof just gets that gloss black that's going over all this white, because it really does set a sporty / performance look to the vehicle. And when you're looking at it from the front fascia, you can see that this is definitely something that's raw performance. When you look at it from the back, that's where you get that hatchback with your LED tail lamps, a multi-stage active rear spoiler, which is definitely going to help with downforce when you're giving this thing some gas, because this is actually faster than all of the competition, which you're going to hear in just a second. AMG quad exhaust outlets, power to go inside to your cargo at 12.7 cubic feet. We have storage underneath the floor with a 12-volt inline 6 turbocharged AMG. We have to go inside, start it up so we can hear that throaty exhaust note. The Mercedes AMG GT43 definitely has the sports car styling. The fact that we have a large cargo capacity, room for 5 in the interior, plus all the styling cues that you get, and they back the performance with a 3.0 liter inline 6 turbocharged with EQ boost, producing 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an AMG Speed Shift TCT 9-speed automatic transmission, achieving 19 to 25 mpgs with a 0 to 60 Mercedes says at 4 seconds, quarter mile at 13 seconds, a top speed 168 miles per hour, which is faster than the Audi S7, then the BMW 840i Grand Coupe. It's going to be a little bit slower than the Cadillac CT5V Black Wing, but that's a V8 with over 600 horsepower. Most, if not all of the competition is going to have more horsepower and torque, and yet this beats it in the 60, in the quarter mile, and the top speed. So you have all your performance, you have the styling for the exterior that just screams AMG. I just want to see what the interior looks like at this point. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Mercedes-AMG GT43 as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Mercedes-AMG GT43, headroom at 40.8 inches, leg room for a 6'3". I don't really have any problems. Auburn brown Napa leather with multi-contour seats, heated, ventilated, and massage. For a sports everyday vehicle, you have comfort in these seats because you can tailor it any which way you like. The dash, I like how it is because it's in your face. It pushes forward, covering up your two 12.3 digital clusters. And on the passenger side, it just brushes into the windscreen. The circular air vents with the gloss black and the silver around it, the carbon fiber inlays that go through the whole dashboard, and you have so much air in the front, you can just feel it nonstop. On a sunny Florida day, you're gonna stay nice and cool, and how it brushes into the door panels with that carbon fiber and your Burmester sound system. In the center here, I do like that we have button structures for your climate control settings. We have navigation for the 12.3 display, so we have the pinch, we have the swipe. Click it to your home button. Swipe it over to your right all the way to the settings. Here you can go to your quick access, your assistance, which you can toggle through anything there, your vehicle, you can do the same thing, and your lighting structure, which you can alter that as well. Your system, so you can change the configuration of your display, and you have your manual right there. Slide over for your Mercedes Me app. That you would just download the services. You can also browse the internet. AMG performance page is where it's at. Start with your vehicle settings. Here you can also change your dynamic. Click into your engine, and here you can see everything live. Your consumption, which it's i6 turbo, not going to be too bad. Your dynamic settings. Click back and go to your comfort, so we can go into that massage seats and we can alter it so that way it can be more luxurious. You can also change your bolstering here as well, and your ambient lighting, which has 64 different color schemes. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM streaming, Bluetooth audio. Switch it to reverse, and you have full trajectory, a 360-degree camera. You can also alter different camera positioning, so you can click onto there and toggle through to make it easy for your reversing. And it also shows you on your gauge cluster, which you can go through an array of information on this screen as well. Here you can change the design display to a lot of different configuration. You can do classic, sport, super sport, understated, standard display. And in each screen, because it's almost as if it's three, has an array of information for the driver, so you can make this as sport derived or as luxurious as you like. You have your heads-up display, leather wrap AMG steering wheel. This is the new spec with the gloss black. You got the touch-sensitive buttons, paddle shifters, perforated on the side, soft leather on the top and bottom, AMG performance steering wheel. For your elbows, it's going to be more sport derived, but that's what you would expect. Cup holders, 16.9 ounce, fits without any issues. You have a USB port and a 12 volt. The carbon fiber goes in the inside, the silver wraps around it. You have your touch sensitive buttons, so you can change the chassis, you can change your dynamics of the ride, you can activate the spoiler and your active exhaust note. The gear lever, I like that it has a palm rest because you have your touchpad right in front of it. Open up inside, and you got another USB port. It's a little bit of storage capacity there. The door panel is going to get contrast stitching with that carbon fiber Burmester sound system. One touch up and down for all the windows. It's going to be more sport derived. The storage pocket, large. You could probably fit about 4 or 5 16.9 ounce bottles, so you don't have to worry with that. A large pano moonroof that goes all the way to the back. Let's see how I look back there. For the back seat headroom, no issues, even though it slopes back 6'3", I can fit. Legroom, the same thing. I have plenty of space, and the way the seat holds you, you feel the same as the front. So it has a good contour as well. Cup holders in the center. You can fit a 16.9 ounce, and you can also remove this, which is a feature that I really like, because you can put a larger cell phone, and then you have 2 storage tiers more or less with 2 USB ports. Air vents in the center, open that up, you got another USB port and a 12 volt and a little ashtray. Storage behind both of the front seats. And I do like that you have a sufficient amount of feet space, because typically when you get into these vehicles, what happens is the way the seats are set, they actually come back too much, and then you can't move your feet at all. Somebody with a 10 or 11 inch foot will have absolutely no problem. Door panel, you're going to have the soft materials with the contrast stitching, and the carbon fiber and Burmester sound system comes into the rear. One touch up and down from the windows, more sport derived for your elbows, and the storage pocket, probably about 2 16.9 ounce water bottles. It's efficient because this is more of a business class back here, and it actually feels just as good as it does in the front. The pano is nice because it's a 2-tier, so that way it feels more like I'm kind of in the front seat and I'm just not driving. Taking the 2022 Mercedes AMG GT43 out for our test run, 362 horsepower with 369 pound-feet of torque. This is going to be more performance than the BMW 840i Grand Coupe with horsepower, torque, 0 to 60, quarter mile, and top speed. If you're comparing it to the Audi S7, the same thing, the 0 to 60, quarter mile, and top speed. However, it's not going to be as much performance drive. But we're going to see how well she performs. Got it in sport, and here we go. She goes. It's quick. You feel like you're a little bit higher too in the way you sit, so you're not so low to the ground. The heads-up display, I can't really see it with the polarized glasses. The visibility, you're gonna have a little bit of blind spots more or less towards the rear. You got blind spot monitoring, and you have so much performance. I mean, just do that. That's all you gotta do. Braking, absolutely no issues. It actually feels very nice when I hit the brakes on this. I'm not going through the windscreen. However, you can feel the stop. So I do like how they've done that, because it's very sport, athletic, and yet comfortable. So you're not just, oh, like that, like most vehicles. Comparing it to the rivals, I will say that I like the way it feels, because it pushes you back tremendously. Red light, here we go. The excitement just builds out of the enhancement that the AMG team does with the vehicle. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this GT43. The 3 things that I like about the vehicle is the fact that you still get performance and you don't have to alter anything. You just push the gas and just go. So it's awesome with that. Plus, you have all the technology that you need. Mercedes does an excellent job with their infotainment screen, but there is a disadvantage which we'll get to. The second thing that I like about it is, even though it's low to the ground, I can still ride with a smooth drive. There is a flip side to that, but you sit up higher and the seats are very plush, the multi-contour with the massage and ventilated. I mean, how much more luxury do you need? The last thing that I like about it is the braking. I mean, look at this. It's solid. Before I get to what I dislike about the vehicle, we're going to slow down a bit and give her some go. Now, obviously, you're not going to be driving this vehicle all the time like that. So we're going to put it onto the comfort, which is your daily use. The road noise does filter in a little bit the exhaust note does kind of fade away. The three things that I dislike has to start off with how low to the ground the front is. You have to constantly take it really soft because you are super low to the ground. When we're comparing it to the rivals, Mercedes is the lowest to the ground clearance. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is in this center cluster, they've taken out a lot of storage capacity. For an everyday use vehicle, you're not going to hear a throaty exhaust note. Now you can activate it, but it's still just not as throaty as you would want it to be. And that kind of leads me to the last thing that I dislike. When you get into the AMG line, it's great because Mercedes does a great job sealing up and making it quiet in the interior, but I want to hear the exhaust note too. That's why I bought a GT. Now I get it, it's the 43, so it's not going to be full blown in the performance. However, it's hard to get anything other than a 43 right now. So yes, the performance needs to be there, and they do such a good job with the numbers. Just give me some more of an exhaust note. As for bumpiness, you can see actually stays pretty comfortable. The exhaust livens up. There's a little bit of turbo lag. Comparing it to the rivals, I will say it is definitely a great vehicle. The Audi S7 is one of my favorite blends because you get a pretty decent amount of power underneath that 2.9 liter V6 twin turbo engine. When you get into the BMW, the power on the 840i is going to be a little bit less with horsepower and torque than this one. Whereas on the Audi, 444 horsepower, you're pretty much taken care of with that. When you go into the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, because I know people are going to say, well, you didn't really mention it too much. Well, the reason why is because the darn thing has way too much power to compare to this. It's not really an apples to apples type of comparison. Yes, night and day, it is super quick. Here's the power, boss. It's lovely. If I bought this car personally, I would probably leave it in sport mode because it really feels very athletic and more composed on the ride. When you put it into comfort, it does feel like it has a little bit more of a turbo lag, where this one just livens up in sports mode. So I do like that. Just, I wish I could see with my polarized glasses that heads-up display because it is super aggressive and it's not too over the top. It's just enough. I have my RPMs, I have how fast I'm going, and the speed limit, so that way I don't catch a ticket. Turn radius, we're gonna try to do it at more or less a stop point. It's about, it's actually a lot wider than I'd want. 2 in a part lane, but rock and roll. It just feels a lot more athletic, and I think the dashboard really helps with the design, the way Mercedes done this particular vehicle, because when I'm in the S7, I really feel the dynamics when I'm pushing the gas and doing things, and it has a little bit more of a throaty exhaust note. It just does not feel as performance driven as the interior of this vehicle. Look at this. I mean, the dynamics is there. It is insane what AMG can do to a vehicle. I like to thank Mercedes of Clearwater for giving us this 2022 Mercedes AMG GT43 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the details, merchandise, website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides. Sometimes you got a little mess up. Got the touch sensitive pad here, so I feel like I'm with an iPad. It is awesome. I like the turn signal sound. The stocks, I wish I had some gloss black because they put that on the steering wheel. And here's what I mean by how low to the ground it is. How low can you go? Mercedes can go pretty low.